more focus.
Axes at the ready.
No, I want that one behind. Four or six. Four or six. I need 500 for the lights. 550. A bit more. These ones up. Focus on the markets, and then we'll get. The idea is to get this guy, but then we go to 025, and then we can really push the monies. We can hold on with. This until we get these 4 at markets. It'll help us push that guy a lot. pretty good. Oh, that wins.
Captain approaches. Sweeping axes! Getting stronger.
I'm definitely going for this guy first.
Captain approaches. Sweeping axes!
I think I need to get that upgrade before I go for more banks. Markets. please. Then we just need to go nuts.
Fight on!
Close. No, it's not close. It's all about just pumping as many 023s as I can,
The mighty
and then upgrading them, and then upgrading one.
The mighty fall! An enemy ready for battle! The mighty fall! The mighty fall! Ah, power! The mighty fall! An enemy fled from battle. Rejoice in our victory! Rejoice in our victory! The mighty fall!
So much money. So much money.
Rejoice in our victory.
Need to be making more money. Stop to look at balloons. I made too much
In our
money.
victory.
Probably work on this ninja now. A little bit.
Fall. Rejoice in our victory. The mighty fall. In our victory. Ah, power. The mighty fall. The mighty fall.
As long as we don't struggle, plus stuff comes around again. Keep taking these upgrades. So we can start making the money off the upgrades sooner.
Rejoice in our victory.
What's the sell price? 20k. Have 8 of these on the side, so it's worth 160,000 to sell.
The mighty fall.
I'm starting to fall a little bit behind. I think I'd rather, instead of taking the upgrade, instead of getting more money, it's just Grandmaster. Things are getting a little bit tight.
Rejoice in our
Yeah, you need
victory.
600,000 to get the Ninja Paragon.
The mighty fall. One looks like a troll. Getting stronger. One looks like a troll. Rejoice in our victory. Rejoice in our victory.
these first. Alright, where's that? Where's the ninjas?
The mighty fall.
Need a mid tier. And a top tier. Bottom tier, I should say. Wow, 648,000. I need to get to about 330,000 before I can sell up. Unless I want to sell those. Can't sell that much. A little bit longer to have that there as well. Alright, we're getting ready to get this Paragon out. 96, 97, something like that. He's only level 4, but oh, look at him. Oh man, he just owns. Look at him go. He's off-screening him. Definitely doing things. How long you can go for? You can hang him from a chinook. Yeah, I was thinking about that, Rod. And the thought of, like, the player just has a central base versus having to find one. Yeah, and you scout around the external areas to find more stuff. me wonder of the behavior, like we look at like The Walking Dead, right? When they were in that barn, like a lot of them seem to be in a state where they've almost given up, as if they're sleeping. You know, a lot of the buildings, they're just not active. So it's not like they're constantly walking around, walking forward. Is that some sort of conscious or subconscious reaction to something where they go, okay, there's nothing here, there's nowhere I can go. I'm just going to sit and wait. I'm just going to stand in this corner and wait. Is it because the world's gone quiet enough where they've got no reason to go forward? Would the zombies in the outside world, would they ever just be standing in the middle of the street, not walking? Or in that sort of situation, do they just keep walking forever? I could get Bloons TD if I need to remove counter duties. No, probably. But the Paragon is just absolutely nuts. It's just destroying everything. No stimulus, no action. So what causes them to get to the point where there's no stimulus? They just, even if you have like 50 of them in a hallway and you throw a firecracker somewhere, eventually, like obviously the firecracker stops, they all go ambling towards where it was. They make noise along the way, which is stimulating others, but that's slowly getting less and less and less until eventually one of them makes the very last footstep and no one cares. And then they're all just standing there. Are the ones that are in the outside world, do they get some sort of stimulus from natural noises, like a tree branch falling off a tree and hitting the ground, the sun hitting somewhere and creating some light? Thunderstorms must be interesting, yeah, definitely, right? Zombies chasing our own echoes. Well, I think that would have to be something where I think that would happen, but the echo volume wouldn't be as loud. So maybe they start moving slower and they don't grunt as often. And then eventually they take their last step and go, and nothing happens. Yeah, but it would have to be far enough away that they actually hear it, or close enough that they hear it, but far enough to have an echo effect. It's interesting. Bob's Canyon would slowly fill up with zombies chasing echoes. If the opening has no echo, there would be nothing to lead them out again. Well, that is if they do chase after their own... or not. Maybe that's something that that when they hear that, they're not interested in following it. Paragons are cool and all, but I wonder why. The only reason we got one when we did was we just pumped out money, and I guess because some of the tier 5s are just so overpowered that once you get those, you just win the game. To get to that stage, why do you need the Paragon? You don't need to be though. Be right back. Hippie houses would get swamped with zombies all chasing moonshine. I think zombies have, I think they do have a vision. Yep. I'm like specifically talking about the Walking Dead ones, where, you know, a couple of them people will be walking down the street quietly, and zombies would be around, and they'd they'd be freaking out because they know they've got to do something about it. Where, you know, if they don't have the vision, you just walk back the other way. I wonder if they have an enhanced night vision compared to humans. And obviously making a game you can choose your own. But definitely the cracking of zombie skull, or you know, don't count shooting. Obviously, firing off a gun, you know, attracts a lot of attention. But yeah, the axing of a zombie skull is enough to, you know, grab the attention of one of their zombie mates that's, you know, a few meters away. I often wondered though, I felt like in it, obviously it's a game, we don't want to, you know, ruin too much, but if you're walking around and there's nothing, and everything's been clear, and then all of a sudden there's a few walkers up in front of you, and they're fairly slow, you take out the first one, and then just back up a couple meters to where you came from, and then take out the next one, and then back up a bit, and then take out the next one and back up a bit. And if you just keep backing up while you take them out, unless there's a huge herd there, like, why do you have to keep moving forward closer and closer to them? And then, especially if there's a bunch of them sort of around, if you keep moving forward, you end up sort of in the middle of them as they, you know, that's a bad place to be. But if you keep sort of backing up, and there's a bunch of them here, they end up funneling down towards you like that, and then they end up almost single file, right? Yeah, trying to apply real world logic. But you kind of have to apply that some level of real world logic if you want to make a have a real time game about it. Because as soon as you have that, let's go in like a top view because it's the easiest one to look at. As soon as you have a player that can walk around and manipulate the AI because zombies are dumb, you know, you end up just kiting them around. So you end up with a zombie conga line. Looting watches can backfire if you forget to see if there's an alarm set on the watch. Nice, yeah. Or being in a house and the alarm just goes off. Oh, what about a home alarm? Someone with a like a security alarm. You break into a house. Although if that's the case, you just leave that house and go for a neighbour's house since the zombies are all attracted to one with the alarm going off. Yeah, set off a car alarm on one side of the street and then just go loot the house on the other side of the street. I guess the biggest downside of that though is you go to leave that house on the other side of the street and you've attracted zombies from a much greater region. So the house that you're leaving is probably surrounded. Since car alarms are quite noisy, right? I think what has to happen is a way to avoid driving around hooting a horn or sirens if you find a working emergency vehicle is a good way to clear an area. Yeah, and then you could sort of train the zombies in a certain direction. So I can't remember what there's a name for the radius line where if you have let's just assume that this is where the alarm's going off here in this pond. And let's assume, due to magic, we're making a rectangular shaped noise. It's not going out in a circle. It's just the way the speakers are set up. The noise only goes to this road, right, and doesn't go beyond it. Okay. What happens then is all the zombies towards the outer skirt of this start drawing towards the middle, leaving regular amounts of zombies outside of this. But if you can get them all within this sort of radius, it leaves these areas here completely zombie free. Now obviously that would happen in a circular pattern more likely, or close enough to it, so that I didn't have a circle here, I had roads. And so there's a word for the line in that sort of situation where you're attracting something within a certain radius or a certain distance, where outside of that is unaffected, and then yeah, you've got something like completely empty, and then a dense one around it. And that, it's not necessarily a problem, but it's something to consider because if you're able to, from a gameplay perspective, set off something like that over here, and it's got a big enough draw, especially if the stuff can collapse into a small enough radius, and you might find yourself now you've created this big percentage of open space. Because you can set it off and then get out and hide somewhere, if you can hide outside of that, like somewhere where it's the free area, now you've just got this massive amount of time to, you know, almost risk-free. Well, it does create a giant horde, eventually. So for this very specific scenario where we're talking about zombies, you set off a car alarm here, and then need to hightail it. So probably roll out of the car if you can, do something if you're going to set it off from a distance, so that you can now make your way using the horn as a distraction for the local zombies, so you can get away from it, hide somewhere, wait for all the zombies in that area to create a horde, where the horde is now between you and the car, and you're now in a safe zone, but you're not outside of the zone into where the regular problem is anymore. Do you create a too easier, like a situation that is just too easy? There's ways to sort of cheat that where, like I said, the zombie that is on this side of the road that's like, I'm the last zombie that can hear it. You have some of these zombies follow him anyway, so they all start collapsing in, but without getting more dense. You know, so there's never a truly free zone, I guess. Be careful how you do that though. The Zomboy try. I already said I'm going to, but October we're playing real games. But just because they do it one way doesn't mean I want to do it that way. That's why it's worth talking about. Having some sort of almost like in They Are Billions, some sort of constant state of amble. The difference in They Are Billions, they had something they were always heading towards, which was the center of your base. Are we finally going to die here? I stopped pumping money into the game, because otherwise we end up going to like around 300. That's painful. Probably already painful, but if I get to around 200, I'll just end. In the real world, you would have a donut pit with a noise source in the Central Island. Visit it one day to torch any zombies. It's not a bad idea. You just find some way to get rid of any remains, like you slowly start flushing out the ashes and stuff, right? Have I reached Ascension? Yeah, a while ago. We did it on like around 96, maybe 97. This dude here with the hat and horns.
The mighty sword.
If you're lazy enough, you could open a section of storm sewers, put grates at each end, make it into a pit with no exits. Heavy rains would wash stuff away.
Fight on.
I guess it comes down to at that stage, because it's when the power stops, and you'd have to get a lot set up. What did we make it to? 164. Nice. Did we get the achievements done? I do like this where you can review map now. I think that's cool. He still needs a lot of damage.